Annunciation Church in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's where the shooting took place this week as we record this. Unspeakably tragic, immeasurably wicked. And I want to respond to the question that comes up so often. Last night I was on a show out of San Francisco and they said, if God could have stopped it, why didn't he? Hi, Alex McFarland here. You know, I often get asked, what is the most common apologetics question? Has the Bible been preserved? Did Jesus rise from the dead? Those are important, but really the most common perennial question that we get is a variation of the question about evil and suffering. Why is there wickedness in the world? Why didn't God intervene and cause Robert Westman, aka Robin, the transgender shooter, why didn't God prevent that? Well, in reality, God undoubtedly prevents many, many evils that we don't know about. I mean, we can thank God that the world is not more dangerous and violent than it already is. But the reality is humans have a free will. They really do. And while God offers the right way, He doesn't force us. We are moral agents that engage in actions, and we're accountable for those actions. You know, our ministry over the last 2 decades has done 36 prison crusades, most recently 2 different prisons in Texas. And in fact, death row in Virginia, the state of Virginia, I had clearance and I went to death row to minister quite a number of times. And I remember on a number of occasions, I've talked with inmates that were convicted murderers, and they said to me that as they were planning and carrying out the crime of murder, one man phrased it this way. I said, did you feel conviction, remorse? He said, the Spirit of God was practically shouting at me, don't do this, don't do this. But I did it anyway. Now, God is all good and all wise and all powerful. But I think about C.S. Lewis in his book, The Problem of Pain. He addressed this question, when a shooter goes in to shoot a victim, why doesn't God turn the bullets to rubber or jello and it doesn't hurt? Because we live in a real world. And there was a man named Gottfried Leibniz who said that this world was about soul making. In other words, in this life we have the opportunity to be forgiven, to be changed and saved. And people every day, and this is a very sobering thought for all of us, we are creating the eternity that we'll experience, whether that be heaven or for many, hell that reject truth. And one last thought, folks. The secular world that says there is no such thing as God, oh, but it's bad, that shooting happened. Look, in a world without God, there's not any way to meaningfully measure was an action good or was an action evil. In a world with no objective standard of righteousness from which to measure, there's just stuff. Now, what that shooter did in Minneapolis was evil. How do we know it was evil? Because we have a conscience, and God has revealed what is truth and righteousness. What do we need to do? Not ban guns. We need to tell people about God and their accountability to Him, and that human life made in God's image is sacred. May God keep our nation safe, and may you and I speak truth to a world that's just about forgotten it. Hey, thanks for watching. Like this, join our channel, spread the word, stay bold, and speak truth.